I think I can just dino over to there. Luckily in this game, like you can swing like this to launch yourself, or you can just hit the A button, which is much easier.
How'd your friend convince you to rock climb? There we go. Because I know you met him at church. But
I think like we were talking about exercise, and I mentioned that I used to rock climb as a kid, and then he said that he rock climbs too, and he asked would I want to go sometime, and I said hell yeah I would. When I finally got my license, I was able to drive myself, so then I started going every week with him.
it's cool to like just see people going out in our generation and being like active.
Mm-hmm.
By like our generation, I'm including like the brain rot gooners of muffins
Yep.
generation, the 16-year-olds,
Yep.
and then the 25, 26, anyone that's under 30, basically.
Mm-hmm. I feel like with my line of work being like self-employed, I really need to do stuff outside or like I would seriously go insane, you know? Like,
Oh yeah, definitely. For health reasons too. It's like
yeah,
great.
like physical health and mental health, you know? I feel like the human brain is like not built for isolation, but also like we need exercise, you know? Exercise releases like endorphins and stuff like that. Also, we need sunlight. Um,
Yes.
you
That's why
know?
people in Alaska and people in British Columbia
Yeah.
are so depressed.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a video about like depression and it was like a dude doing like a TED Talk type of thing. It outlined like six different factors that are like highly correlated with depression and it was like sunlight, social connections, exercise. One of them was like omega fatty acids, and then there were two other I can't remember, but kind of made me like think about like depression in a different way, I guess, because I feel like antidepressants are like very overprescribed nowadays, and it's like I kind of have the attitude of like if you never go outside and you have no friends and you feel depressed, that's not your brain misbehaving, that's your brain working properly and saying like, hey, I need to touch
Yeah.
grass, I need to like, make friends, 'cause like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because I
Running
mean,
from the cops.
our generation is and the generation alpha affecting kids is over medicated.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that as someone who was medicated when they were younger,
Hmm.
like Lexapro for like anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
Generation is over medicated and they're not letting people like have normal experiences,
Mm-hmm.
grow up, like mature, and like help themselves because it makes doctors more money.
Yeah, honestly, I do think that is a part of it. So I don't think I've ever had like, clinical brain chemistry issue depression, but I have had points in my life where I have felt depressed during college when I was like learning about like the job prospects and how horrible they were. And also I had like one friend at the time and that was it. But I went to a counselor with the school and then she very quickly suggested antidepressants. And then I went to a doctor and he also just very quickly suggested antidepressants. Like from the time I started talking to that counselor to the time I was on antidepressants was like a month. It's crazy. And like they had no conversation about like, are you getting exercise? Do you have friends in your life?
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and that's not to say that like oh the solution for everybody is just go touch grass. Like I do think there's people who do have like you know brain imbalances and that kind of stuff. Like um, but I think for someone like me, for example, I think it was ridiculous putting me on antidepressants, you know?
I'm an introvert, but
Hmm.
I go outside a lot, and I'm like when my friends are like, I don't want to do that. I want to go outside, or my social battery's running low. Or they're dreading like to do a social event. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
do it
you gotta have
anyway.
the motivation to do it. Yeah,
Yes. Like, I am also very introverted. Um, I feel like I had like social anxiety issues when I was younger, but about like 3 years ago, I decided that I was just gonna do all of the things that I didn't want to do when it came to like social stuff, and Um, where do I go from here? Oh, there. And that has helped a lot, you know? Like
Yeah,
that and going back to church, you know, 'cause I made really, really good friends there. So,
just having a little community, like being in a friend
mhm,
group. If you put yourself in uh, a good group of people, like who you surround yourself is kind of a reflection of like who you are.
mhm. They say you are the average of your five closest friends, I think, right?
I think so. I've never heard that one before, but that's
Mm,
very accurate. That sounds pretty accurate.
yeah.
So, just going out there and being social is a good thing.
Mhm.
Or if you don't want to, if you were afraid to take the steps, let someone like an extrovert force you outside.
Yes, absolutely. You know, like that kind of happened with me in college a little bit. Like I had one friend there. Like I didn't talk to anybody in college ever. So the only people that I made friends with were the people who would come up and talk to me, which was like one guy at the college I went to. That was it before it went all online. Um, but me going to church, that was of my own volition because I was like, it's very hard to make friends as an adult, I think, if you are not like in a job that has you talking with lots of people or in college, right? Or university.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, all right, well, I don't want to spend my life without having any friends, obviously. No one wants that. So what do I do? Huh, let me see if is there any like meetup groups around me or anything like that. And because I live in the middle of nowhere, the answer was no. There was only churches. So that is what I went to.
Well, that's a good place to go. I'll
Yep.
tell you that.
Yeah. Like I wasn't,
Literally,
sorry.
go ahead.
Um,
Story, go ahead.
like I wasn't even, I was kind of more agnostic at the time. I mean, I'd say I'm still kind of agnostic, but um, like even if you're not religious, I think like churches or mosques or like whatever is like a great thing to go to make friends.
Yeah, totally. Like, I just literally Saturday night at the Easter Vigil, I got confirmed Catholic after being a Protestant most of my life, a
Hmm.
Protestant who really didn't attend church. Uh, and I've made like crazy, insane new friends,
Hmm.
like just through that.
But yeah, what you said about like get extroverts to help you with this stuff. That's also what I found through like that one friend at my church. He himself is not very extroverted, but he has just been really good at like I guess pushing me out of my comfort zone, you know, like when it comes to like social stuff, but also like exercise too. You know, like
And it's good that you let him because
yeah,
there's a lot
yeah.
of people who push back against it.
That's very true, you know. Like there's times when we're climbing, for example, where he's belaying me, and I will think that I can't do a wall, and then I will so it's like imagine I'm stuck at a part and I try it for like four times in a row. I fail four times in a row, and I'll look down and I'll just like shake my head no for him to let me down, and he just says no. So then I just keep climbing, and then yeah, I do typically beat it.
You put a lot of trust, on your belay,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're there to save your life if,
Mhm.
if you really something really bad happens. So
Yep.
it's good that he has that, what is it? Force.
Mhm.
I think that's still good because hobbies,
Mhm.
that's where you're gonna even hobbies help you branch out and, meet
Yeah.
people. I'll tell you this, you're gonna be climbing one of these days outside and some girl's gonna ask you, "Hey, can you belay me?" Bing bang boom.
Yeah.
That's your new
I
relationship.
hope. I
That's how
hope.
it starts.